Mary here from Change Is Always Possible, and I've made it outside, hooray, for my one walk, or whatever, for me it's a walk. Yeah, I wanted to talk about anger because there's quite a bit of it flying around at the moment. I've certainly been feeling it, and well, the same as all these other intense emotions, it's not good for our biology, for our physical bodies, yeah, we need to do something about it, because anger can be harmful, not just for ourselves, but for other people. So, yeah, just wanted to say a couple of things about anger first. So, anger is a normal human emotion. You know, we don't have our emotions for nothing. They're part of being human. They're part of the sort of rich tapestry of how we operate in the world, how we understand ourselves, how we understand each other, how we communicate. So there's nothing wrong with anger per se. The problem with anger is what we do with it, and so often we project it out onto other people, and that's when it can get really harmful. Or we suppress it within ourselves, and some schools of thought say that's then can lead to depression and, you know, feeling down because we're having to sit on everything. So that's one thing about anger. Something else about anger is, well, that I was told by somebody much wiser than me quite a long time ago, was that there are two different ways of looking at our anger, two types of anger. So one, which is the anger that is appropriate for today and for what's just happened to us. And that's a bit like blowing through a straw, anger. But if we're having anger that is like a wind tunnel roaring from somewhere, you know, deep inside us, then that is very likely to be informed by unresolved issues in our past. And I certainly know that, well, I like to think that it doesn't happen to me very often these days, but it certainly has in the past, that I have completely overreacted, and I think people who know me, especially my family, can verify, really overreacted to situations and lost it about stuff. And actually, you know, through the work I've done myself, discovered that that is usually because there's something that it's triggered that relates to my past. So the thing that's happening now has a flavour, or is reminding me in some way, though often not consciously, of things that happened in the past. So it's just like when, yeah? So it's just like when that teacher did that thing, a parent did something, a friend at school, when we were bullied, whatever it was. And we're getting triggered, and so all the unresolved and unexpressed anger from them is coming rushing out in this situation. So some of these things to do with anger will be going on now, and when we're doing the tapping, you might actually find that so yeah, what's possible is when we start tapping, we may get a memory, or we might tune in to more of that old anger, yeah? And I just want to flag that up because that might happen to you, and what have you got to do if that happens? Keep on tapping. And, you know, if anybody really gets into difficulties with any of this tapping that I'm suggesting, contact me, ask me what to do. I'm willing to help, because this is a really difficult time on our planet, and it wouldn't be at all surprising that we're all getting all sorts of different things triggered, and so it's a great opportunity actually to clear some of that old stuff from the past. So let's just get tapping now. I might not be tapping on using the language that the things that you are angry about just now. I'm going to try and cover a broad range of potential issues that are going on at the moment that might be making people feel angry. But, you know, as I've said in previous videos, replace what I'm saying with your language. It's better to be specific when we're tapping with EFT, specific to how we're feeling, what we're telling ourselves, what's going on in our body, and you're more likely to get results. Okay, so this is like a taster for you. It's like an introduction to what you can do to help yourself. Okay, so let's go. So as usual, we're tapping on the side of our hand, either hand, it doesn't matter which one, and we're going to say, even though I'm feeling really angry, I've got all this anger about what's going on out there. I can't believe all the crazy panic buying that went on. Why did people do that? Can't they think? I'm really feeling angry about the waste of food that's resulted in that. I can't believe people aren't behaving and listening to the government's advice about what we're supposed to do. People aren't following the rules that they should be following, and it's making me feel angry. And I can choose to feel calm and relaxed. So even though I have this anger about what's going on in the world at the moment, people are being ridiculous, people are overreacting, people are not doing what they're supposed to do, people are being unkind, people are being selfish, people are trying to profit from what's going on. And I can feel all this anger in my body. And what I want you to do is just to tune in. Just close your eyes or lower them and just think, oh, where are you feeling that anger? And I know that I can feel it in my solar plexus. I've got a tension there, and it's like a tension that's going up like that in my body. Some people feel it in the back of their throat. You might have a sense that you're all tensing up. There's lots of different ways that our body expresses the emotions that we have. So just notice where you're feeling this anger in your body. So even though I have all this anger and I can feel it in my solar plexus and my throat, and my head feels tight and my chest is tense, I can choose to stay calm and be relaxed. Okay, so we start tapping on the top of the head. So you're basically keep on copying what I'm doing. It's like Simple Simon, except it's follow Mary. Yeah, so tapping on the top of the head. All this anger about what's going on. I'm feeling really angry about all the panic buying. I'm really angry about the situation that's left us in. I'm angry because I feel confused and I don't know what to do. I'm angry because I think that the government should have done more sooner. I'm angry that the government isn't being clear about what they're going to do to help us all. I'm angry because I don't know how to get the help I need. I'm angry because they don't seem to care about my profession or my job. I'm angry because there's been a huge waste of food, and just when we really need it. I'm angry because I think people are overreacting. I'm angry because the media is making everybody really frightened. I'm angry about the way people are behaving. I'm angry that I can't go outside. I'm angry that my life has been brought to a standstill. I'm angry because I don't know what to do. I'm angry about all the things that are going on out in the world. And we take a breath. Now, for some people, you might be feeling even more angry now, because that can happen when we tap. We're tuning in to how we feel. Some people, it might have dissipated a bit, and other people, you might started to feel emotional. You might be tearful or sad, because often underneath our anger, there's some emotion that we don't really want to feel. And that is what we need to keep tapping on and acknowledge to ourselves. And some of you might have been reminded of things that have happened in the past that enraged you. So we're going to do another little bit of tapping that's generic, that kind of cover all of these. And the biggest recommendation I have for you is to keep tapping on whatever you're feeling, and keep breathing, and keep going until you start to get some kind of relief. And like I said, if you don't, get in contact. All right, so even though I have all this anger in my body, I know it's not good for me to hold on to it, but I feel so enraged by some of the things that are going on. It's not fair how people are behaving. They shouldn't be doing that. Why are they being so selfish? All this anger in my body. And just noticing that anger in your body, if it had a colour or a shape or a texture or a sound associated with it, what might it be? So if I think about mine in my solar plexus, it's like really tight feeling like a drum, and the colour would be something orange, I think. So then we tap on that, even though I have this really tight drum anger in my stomach, in my solar plexus, this orange anger in my solar plexus. So you're just repeating after me with your own words. All this anger in my body. I'm so angry about what's happening in the world, and I can still choose to be calm and relaxed. So even though I've got all this anger about what's going on about there, and maybe underneath I'm feeling sad, and maybe I'm feeling frightened. I don't like all this change. I don't like seeing people behave like that. And I can choose to be calm and relaxed. So even though I have all this anger and it's reminding me of times in the past, maybe when I felt angry because things weren't fair, I didn't like what people were doing, I felt scared and I felt frightened. And right now, that's not happening to me. And right now, I can choose to be calm and relaxed. So top of the head. All this anger in my body, all this orange tight drum anger in my solar plexus, all this anger screaming inside my body, all this anger that wants to shout and rage about what I'm seeing happening in the world, all this anger about the things that seem unfair, unjust and wrong that I'm seeing happening in the world. All this anger about what is going on out there. All this anger about things that have happened to me in the past. All this unresolved anger in my body. My body's showing me it needs me to release this anger. And maybe underneath I've got some feelings of sadness. Maybe I'm feeling a bit frightened. Maybe all these changes that are happening are unsettling me. And it feels safer to feel angry. Because I feel more powerful when I'm angry than feeling vulnerable, feeling scared, feeling sad. But whatever I'm feeling is okay. It's okay to feel what I'm feeling. It's okay to be angry. And I'm going to keep on tapping to clear my anger. So I'm just going to keep tapping while I talk to you. So just keep tapping. That is my recommendation. It is definitely lowering your cortisol level. It's sending a calming message to your mind when they wire people up to whatever it is, CEGs, EEGs, I don't know, one of you medical people know the terms, that they can see that it changes the pattern of the brain waves to a more calm pattern. So doing this tapping is something that is really worth giving it a go. I'd like to get you all tapping out here in the north of Argyll if I can. And you can teach your kids to tap. If they're really raging and angry about something, or if they're really upset, or if you come across somebody who's really in shock, or they're really sad, something's going on, then you can teach them to tap. And I also want to just give you one other tapping tip for anger. And this is when our anger is just, well, it's not dissipating, and it's a little bit out of control and we don't like it. So then what we can do is something called rant and tap. And basically you just tap round the points and you rant. And actually these trees up here in the woods have heard me do that quite a few times in the past. It's one of the ways I got through having teenagers and various other family difficulties. And I just used to come up here and tap and shout out loud and swear and do all and say all the horrible, mean, nasty things that were going on in my head until I started to calm down. Yeah, so it's called ranting and tapping. Might be difficult if you're stuck inside. So you might have to explain to people that you're going to go and have a rant and a tap, you might all want to rant and tap together. You might have to go off to the bathroom, play some loud music, and then have your rant and a tap. Or if you're lucky, like me, that you've got somewhere that you can get outside to that's a little bit more private, then you can do that. And yeah, let me know how you get on. I'd be really interested. And also let me know if there are any other particular issues that are coming up that it would be helpful to have some tapping around. I'm thinking that maybe the fear around getting diagnosed might be one, but you can let me know. Okay, happy tapping. Bye bye.